Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that, let's be honest, touches every single one of us, our emotions. We're going to lay out a kind of roadmap for understanding and, more importantly, healing our emotional world, so we can turn those huge, overwhelming feelings into something we can actually manage.
But before we get into all of the tools and techniques, let's just pause and start with a really basic question. What does it truly mean to heal? I mean, we throw that word around all the time, but what are we actually aiming for when we talk about emotional healing?
And that brings us right to our first section. We have to define the goal, right? Because you can't start a journey unless you have some idea of where you're trying to go. So what does emotional healing really look like?
Okay, so here's the thing about emotional healing. It's not about erasing your past or pretending that tough stuff never happened. Not at all. As you can see from this definition, it's a process. It's all about restoring our internal balance by integrating our experiences, the good, the bad, all of it. And this journey is almost never a straight line. It's more like a spiral. We're gradually, piece by piece, building a more stable sense of who we are.
So how do we know if we're actually on the right path? Well, healing usually involves three huge transformations. First, you'll see a restoration of connection. You start rebuilding a healthy relationship with your own feelings and with other people. Second is integration. This is where we stop running away from painful memories and instead we start to make sense of them. And third, and this one is absolutely crucial, is self-regulation. You start moving from just reacting on impulse to acting with intention. You're no longer just a passenger on an emotional roller coaster, you're actually in the driver's seat.
Now, to really understand healing, we have to look at the flip side. We have to understand the challenge we're up against. And the biggest obstacle is often something called emotional dysregulation. It's a clinical term, but really, it just describes that feeling of being completely overwhelmed and controlled by our emotions.
And this chart here just lays out the difference perfectly. On the left, you have a regulated response. Your emotions kind of match the situation, and you can calm yourself down after something stressful happens. But on the right, that's dysregulation. We're talking intense, rapid mood swings, that feeling like you just can't calm down, and impulsive outbursts that you might regret later. Seeing them side by side like this makes it so clear what we're trying to move away from and what we're moving toward.
And I really want to stress this. This is not a personal failing. Emotional dysregulation has really complex roots. It can be biological, related to our genes or brain structure. It can absolutely stem from past trauma, which literally rewires our nervous system for survival mode. It can be linked to neurodevelopmental conditions, or sometimes it just comes from being under constant, overwhelming stress without enough support.
So, what do you do? What do you do when you're right in the middle of that emotional storm? That's when you need an emotional first aid kit. These next couple of tools are super practical skills you can use in the moment to get your head above water.
Okay, first up is the stop skill. It's so simple, but man, is it powerful. So S is for stop. Literally, just freeze. Don't do a thing. T is for take a step back. Give yourself some physical or mental space. O is for observe. What's going on in your body, in your mind? Don't judge it, just notice it. And finally, P is for proceed mindfully. What you're doing here is creating a tiny pause between the feeling and the reaction. And that pause, that's where all your power is.
All right, the next tool is called TIP, and this one is all about changing your body chemistry to calm down fast. T stands for temperature. Splashing cold water on your face actually triggers a physiological dive response that slows your heart rate. I is for intense exercise. Even 30 seconds of jumping jacks can burn off that crazy surge of adrenaline. And the two Ps, that's paced breathing and paired muscle relaxation. Both of these send a powerful signal to your nervous system that the danger is over and it's safe to chill out. Okay, so those first aid skills are amazing for crisis moments. But real, true healing isn't just about managing crises. It's about building a stronger foundation so the crises happen less often. It's about building lasting resilience over time. Building that kind of resilience is really an ongoing practice, and it involves a whole toolbox of strategies. You've got cognitive tools like learning to reframe a situation to change how it feels. There are grounding techniques to pull you back into the present moment when you're spinning out. And critically, there are the long-term habits. Things like professional therapy, good nervous system hygiene, which just means taking care of your wiring with things like sleep and hydration, and a consistent mindfulness practice.
And this table right here, it just sums it all up so well. You can see how all these strategies kind of build on each other. You start at the bottom with crisis intervention to just calm your body down. Then you move up to distress tolerance to stop yourself from doing something impulsive. From there, you work on cognitive growth to actually change your thought patterns, and it's all supported by systemic health, all those daily habits for that real long-term stability. It's a complete framework, from first aid to lifelong well-being.
You know, if you take just one single thing away today, please let it be this. Healing is not about becoming emotionless. It's not about getting to a place where you never feel sad or angry again. It's about building a container inside yourself that's strong enough to hold even the toughest feelings without breaking. It's about developing the capacity to feel things deeply without getting completely swept away by them.
Look, this journey of healing can feel really long and sometimes pretty overwhelming, but it always begins with one single step. So after looking at all these tools and ideas, the most important question is the one you can answer for yourself right now. What is one healing step, no matter how small it seems, that you can take for yourself today?